you're watching, learning, feeling, will you stay with us? Just one click to subscribe means everything.
The Evolution of Operational Art by John Andreas Olsen and Martin van Creveld. Introduction. Understanding operational art. Operational art lies at the intersection of tactics and strategy. It is the level of war concerned with the design and conduct of campaigns, where battles are sequenced and resources aligned to achieve strategic goals. This concept emerged in modern form in the 19th and 20th centuries, as the scale and complexity of warfare grew. The book The Evolution of Operational Art, edited by John Andreas Olsen and Martin van Creveld, traces its development from Napoleonic warfare to contemporary conflicts, analyzing how different nations shaped and were shaped by operational thinking. Chapter 1. Napoleon. The Origins of Operational Art. Operational art, in its embryonic form, begins with Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon did not use the term operational art, but his military campaigns from 1796 to 1815 exhibited the principles later associated with it. Key innovations. Mass conscription and mobilization. The levy en masse allowed France to raise massive armies. Corps system. Independent corps, each capable of offensive and defensive action, enabled strategic dispersion and operational concentration. Speed and maneuver. Forced marches allowed Napoleon to outflank and disrupt enemy deployments. Sequential campaigning. He aimed to win wars through a series of decisive battles, such as at Austerlitz 1805 and Jena Auerstedt 1806. Despite these advances, Napoleon's approach was personality-driven and lacked formal doctrine. His campaigns faltered in later years, notably Russia 1812 and Leipzig 1813, when his enemies adapted operationally. Chapter 2. The Prussian-German Evolution. The roots of modern operational doctrine lie in the Prussian military reforms post-1806. Key figures: Gerhard von Scharnhorst and August von Gneisenau, reformers. Helmuth von Moltke the Elder, Chief of the General Staff, 1857–88. Moltke institutionalized what Napoleon improvised. Mission Command Auftragstaktik. Railway mobilization planning. Emphasis on Kesselschlachten, battles of encirclement. Under Moltke, the Prussian-German military used war games and peacetime planning to coordinate multi-corps operations as seen in Austro-Prussian War, 1866, Battle of Königgrätz. Franco-Prussian War, 1870–71, Battle of Sedan and the Siege of Paris. However, World War I exposed flaws. The Schlieffen Plan attempted strategic envelopment but failed to account for logistics, resistance, and duration. The resulting stalemate on the Western Front highlighted that operational art had become more technical and dependent on industrial capacity. Chapter 3. Soviet Operational Art, the Rise. Modern operational art as a doctrine was most systematically developed in the Soviet Union during the interwar period. Key architects: Alexander Svechin, who distinguished between strategy, operations, and tactics. Mikhail Tukhachevsky, who pushed for deep operations. Tryandafilov, who argued for successive and parallel offensives at great depth. Their vision was encapsulated in the concept of glubokaya operatsiya, or deep battle. Goal: break through enemy tactical defenses and exploit to the operational and strategic depths. Use of mechanized units, air power, and coordination across fronts. Campaigns designed as sequences of operations, not just individual battles. Key milestones. Field Regulation of 1929 and 1936 codified this thinking. The 1937 purges, however, decapitated the Red Army's intellectual leadership, including Tukhachevsky. Many innovations were frozen until relearned in war. Chapter 4. Soviet Operational Art in World War II. The German invasion in June 1941, Operation Barbarossa, forced the Soviets to rapidly reconstruct operational capacity. Early failures, e.g., encirclement at Kiev and Minsk, were replaced by more coordinated defense and counteroffensives from 1942 onwards. Key Soviet operations illustrating mature operational art. 1. Operation Uranus, 1942, the encirclement of German 6th Army at Stalingrad. 2. Operation Bagration, 1944, the destruction of Army Group Center involving 2.5 million Soviet troops, 6,000 tanks, and deep exploitation by mobile groups. 3. Vistula-Oder Offensive, 1945, rapid 500 kilometers advance toward Berlin in under 2 weeks. By 1945, the Soviets had achieved a multi-echelon, front-level coordination that exemplified large-scale operational warfare. Their campaigns used breakthrough divisions, mobile exploitation forces, simultaneity and depth. This was operational art at its most expansive scale. Chapter 5 Contrast the British experience. British military tradition during the same period emphasized tactical competence and strategic control but lacked a developed concept of operational art. Reasons? Preference for limited liability warfare and colonial policing. Reliance on sea power and strategic bombing. Command structure where service chiefs operated independently, hindering integrated operational planning. In North Africa, 1940-43, and Italy, 1943-45, British forces conducted successful campaigns but often with fragmented command, overcautious planning, and a strategic mindset unsuited to rapid, large-scale maneuver warfare. While Field Marshal Montgomery exemplified operational method at El Alamein and beyond, British doctrine remained more pragmatic than systematic. Chapter 6 American Operational Art from World War II to Gulf War. Though the United States played a dominant military role in the 20th century, it initially lacked a formal theory of operational art. U.S. doctrine historically emphasized tactics via field manuals and grand strategy via political leadership, often skipping the intermediate level of war. World War II. In Europe, General Dwight D. Eisenhower's SHAF executed operations such as Operation Overlord, Operation Market Garden, and the Battle of the Bulge. In the Pacific, General Douglas MacArthur's campaigns from New Guinea to the Philippines showed sequencing across amphibious, air, and land domains. Vietnam War. Tactical successes were not aligned with strategic aims. Focus on attrition, body counts, and search and destroy disconnected operations from end states. Chapter 7 The Goldwater-Nichols Era and FM 100-5. The Goldwater-Nichols Act, 1986, and the revised FM 100-5 Operations Doctrine, 1982, 1986, 1993, institutionalized operational art in the U.S. military. Core concepts. Center of gravity. Decisive points. Lines of operation. Operational reach. Operational art was now doctrinally embedded as the framework connecting strategic intent and tactical action. Chapter 8 Desert Storm, Operational Excellence. Operation Desert Storm, 1991. Commanded by General Norman Schwarzkopf, was a demonstration of operational art in action. Air campaign followed by 100-hour ground offensive. Deception operations left hook. Coalition and joint force integration. Real-time ISR, PGMs, and synchronized maneuver. It remains a textbook model of sequencing, integration, and tempo. Chapter 9 Israel, From Operational Mastery to Decline. From 1948 to 1973, Israel showcased agile operational art. 1948 Mobilization under pressure. 1956 Sinai Campaign with UK-France coordination. 1967 Preemptive strikes and maneuver warfare. 1973 Recovery from surprise attacks. After 1982, with prolonged occupation in Lebanon, Israeli operational art eroded. Urban warfare and asymmetric threats challenged conventional concepts. 2006 Lebanon War revealed doctrinal gaps and over-reliance on air power. Chapter 10 China, the Strategic Continuum. Maoist doctrine emphasized strategic encirclement, protracted warfare, and sequencing across political and military domains. Post-1979 reforms pushed the PLA toward integrated joint operations, local wars under high-tech conditions, creation of strategic support force for cyber, space, and electronic warfare, a 2/AD doctrine in the Western Pacific. Chinese operational thinking today merges ancient strategy with modern joint force capabilities. Chapter 11 Operational Art in Contemporary Warfare. Modern conflicts challenge classical operational art. Asymmetry, no clear center of gravity, dispersed, irregular opponents. Hybrid threats, cyber, proxy, and information warfare. Urban terrain and moral political constraints. Cases. Iraq and Afghanistan, tactical overmatch, strategic ambiguity. Ukraine, mixed conventional irregular operations with information ops. Syria, multipolar actors and shifting alliances. Chapter 12, Enduring Elements of Operational Art. Despite changes in the character of war, operational art endures with key principles. Depth, simultaneity, center of gravity, operational reach, sequencing and phasing, initiative. Operational art remains essential for linking military action to political purpose. Closing remarks. From Napoleon to NATO, from the Soviet Union to the PLA, operational art has evolved as a response to scale, complexity, and strategic ambition. It enables the effective orchestration of campaigns across time, space, and domains. For military professionals, mastering operational art is vital. It transforms tactical excellence into strategic success and remains the intellectual bridge between the battlefield and national policy.
You're watching, learning, feeling. Will you stay with us? Just one click to subscribe means everything.